Justice Camera here. Hey, Tactical 40K. I'm gonna do a list video because somebody asked for the list that I've been running, and I said that, you know, I'd go ahead and just do a video because right now I'm experimenting. So I got legitimately 4 lists going on. So I got 1,000-point Crusade army, or actually 5 because I played another Crusade league where I'm just kind of doing basic Raven Guard things without tanks. I think I ran a Reaper, and then everything else is kind of thematic, which actually turned out really well. I played again against Tyranids, and I ran just like Vanguard vets, 2 squads of those, one with Shrike and the helm, and then one with Chaplain, and then 2 Eliminator squads and an Assassin, and then, which I don't know, it wasn't a real Crusade, because I don't know if Crusade rules. I have to look again if you can take more than one character, but we were just playing a 1,000-point game, I guess, with Crusade mission. Then I have a Crusade list that has just 1 character, and it's not Shrike, and then it's just a smash them and blow them up list, and it works pretty well. But then I have my 1,000-point or 2,000-point list. So I got a list coming up the yin because I'm building an Iron Storm list, or whatever the Iron Hands detachment, and then I got my Raven Guard list, which is the Vanguard Spearhead, that I'm building currently right now, and we got to experiment. So this weekend the book comes out, the Codex, and then we'll be able to throw a few games with either or. I'm still trying to get certain models for the Vanguard Spearhead, so that one might be a little bit delayed because right now in the marketplace it's really tough to get certain models. Like in this list, I'm trying to get some aggressors. It's hard to get aggressors for some reason, or I guess you can get them, but they're highly inflated. You might as well just, you know, buy another box of, you know, the Blood Angels patrol box, and then go ahead and get some incursors, and then you can retrofit the impulsor unless you want to use it as an actual transport, which I would just convert it into a Gladiator. But anyway, so we're 2 minutes in. But anyway, the list that I've been running, 1,000 point, which is on the phone that I'm filming with, so it's hard for me. I just got to use memory here. Is well, we'll go with Shrike. You got to have Shrike in there, and actually Shrike is pretty BA. He's good, lone op, and grand strength. It's only strength 5 attacks, but you get 7 of them at -2 AP, 2 damage, twin linked. So he's like the only dude you can bring besides that in jump pack with the twin lightning claws, which they're the Raven Talons or whatever they are. I've got him. I'm packing him with some Vanguard vets with heirloom weapons. I've got shields on them for the 4+ invul, which is last game I played. So I played this game this weekend. It was me versus 1,000 points of Votan and 1,000 points of Tau. So it was dual armies against me, and I totally forgot about the invul. And I don't know why. I was just tired. I had another energy drink, and I made a real bad move in my setup, my deployment, and lost 230 points right off the bat because I didn't realize how shooty that they were, and I ran out of spots to put this, and I usually hold a lot of my good units to the last bit of deployment so I can see how the board's shaping up. But anyway, so I forgot about that, but I run those. Of course, I got heirloom weapons with their strength 5, -1 AP, 1 damage, but you get 4 attacks. So if you're running 5 of those with Shrike, you're getting 27 attacks. You got twin link with Shrike. You got lethal hits if you come in the charge. Not to mention that squad gets lone op when he's. So I've started not running him as deep strike. I'm running him on the board. One, it draws attention, a little bit of attention, but also you can maneuver around the board a little bit and get some board presence. And then if things don't look good at the end of your opponent's turn, you pull them off the board and you can come in. So I got that dude. So this is the list that I was originally running. Then I'm running a Phobos Lieutenant and a Captain. I've tried this, and I'm attaching them to an Incursor squad. And sometimes I bounce around with that Incursor squad or the Infiltrator squad. One being the Incursor squad because I really like the fact that you can do the Haywire Mine, and then they also have weapons and ignore cover and their assault, and they get the scout move. Then you couple that with a lieutenant with lethal hits. Hey, over there, stop. You're always getting water when I'm on video. Anyway, so you get lethal hits, then you get a captain. Excuse me. Got a rabbit here that's wanting to drink water whenever I do some kind of video. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Anyway, so you get lethal hits, then you get a captain in Phobos armor, and the reason why you do him is because he gives you the free battle tactic stratagem once per battle round. But then also in the beginning, if things aren't looking too good, when you scout up or do that, you can just maneuver your Phobos units. So if you have him, and then you can run, then what else do I run? I run a librarian. I'm usually attaching him with an eliminator squad, one that I can't move around as much. So I have one currently. Now these are going to change in the new Codex, but right now when I'm running, so I have 2 eliminator squads. One has an Instigator bolt rifle and 2 las fusils. The other has just because it came with that one box, it has 3 Instigator bolt rifles, which I'll probably change one of those at least. If I can't change them all las fusils, I'll put 1 las fusil in there, and I have the librarian, Phobos librarian, attached to them, and I can set them in the backfield kind of as a screening unit, but they also can pop some shots off. And the other unit that I can maneuver and fire with, the las fusils they're actually pretty good. They played pretty key in this last battle, so I have them. Who else do I have? A Techmarine. I got Techmarine because I do run tanks in this list. So the Techmarine, I'm keeping him around my Vindicator. Yeah, that one with the blast weapon. It's like a siege weapon. It's not really very ravenguardy, but whatever. I have him in there, and a Lancer, and then I had an Executioner. So those are my 3 tanks. We're changing that around a little bit for the Vanguard Spearhead, but I still have, there's a Techmarine that's with that Demolisher cannon because I want to give him +1 to hit, which gives him hits on you hitting on 2s with a D6 weapon at strength 14, D6 damage, -3 AP. It's pretty devastating. I've done a significant amount of damage on a number of units with that because people tend to look at my Lancer, they tend to look at that Executioner, and then they disregard the fact that you got this siege weapon that can go blast things. So with that being said, so I have those units. I'm trying to remember what else I have. Oh, Inceptors. I have Inceptors. So I usually set my Inceptors in Deep Strike. And then now I'm running that second Vanguard Vet squad with the Chaplain, and I have them in Deep Strike. So I've been running that. Who else? Sometimes, like I said, sometimes if you switch the Incursor and the Infiltrator squad, you set those up differently. The Incursors I'm pushing up the board. The Infiltrators I'm using as a screening unit. What else am I doing there? So we got that. Oh, Invictor Tactical Warsuit. I know everybody's like all fan of Dreadnoughts and everything, but the Tactical Warsuit, my friend, has an 8-inch scout. It has guns on it. I've experimented with both the Flamer and the autocannon. I'm leaning the autocannon now, but the Flamer, if you're running some other detachment, is one of the best Flamers in the game because it's got a -1 AP and all that jazz. You can bulk it up if you wanted to, if you're running Iron Storm. But for the Raven Guard stuff, I'm just running that the gun. And the thing with that is, and it's not even about the gun, to be totally honest. That's cool, but I run that thing up the board, and I get in their face really quick. And I use something that you keep this in your back pocket: Tank Shock. It's probably one of the best units to Tank Shock, and here's why: because it's a toughness 8, but it has a strength 14 melee weapon. So you go in there, you pound them, you're rolling like 14 d6 plus 2, so you're running 16 d6. You got a significantly better chance of maxing out that 6 mortal wounds. And then you go in there, you got 5 attacks with his fist, his melee weapon at whatever it is, strength 14. I think it's maybe -8 AP2 with some damage. I haven't really hit all that hard with it in there, but it's the Tank Shock that really knocks him. And then I'm running an Evisar Assassin in there, so right next to him. And then usually if I don't get close enough to do the Tank Shock or whatever, and they try to rush him, I heroically intervene. If they have an infantry keyword unit, I'm throwing 3+ the wounds on there. Or you can do Overwatch with his gun, which isn't as good. You tie him up in combat, they kill him, they kill either one of them, they have a chance of deadly demising. But it really, what it does is it interdicts their plans. Like the Invictor Tactical Warsuit's great, and it has a Phobos keyword, so you can maneuver him. So it's like, okay, you got the captain there, you got your Phobos units, you deploy them out, and they're looking at that Tactical Warsuit, knowing that it can scout. All of a sudden, whatever pregame move they have, or you put that up, one of the first units you put out, and they kind of position towards that. Then all of a sudden you go boop, boop, put them over here, and then you're running into like an infantry unit, because I like to target those infantry keyword units with him and the Evisar. That way we can get that sustain. You can get the 3+ wound with the Evisar, plus if you run him with the sustained hits one, that's not too bad either. Because he gets 3 deals. So I've kind of that, or sometimes I run on a 2,000 point list. I got the Invictor Assassin too, which hasn't, I have mixed feelings about him. He hasn't been doing so hot. So but whatever. So I think, what else do I got in there? So I did that Incursion, got the Eliminators, Invictor Tactical Warsuit, the tanks, so that's pretty much the list. I'll go and I'll get it off here, and I'll put it on the comments, so I might have missed something, and we'll go from there. But that's how I'm running those, and then that's how I'm running a lot of those things. I kind of give you a little bit. So the Eliminators are sitting kind of in the backfield, maybe the one that maneuvers. I got him kind of up, taking some positions, objectives. Shrike is taking objectives if he can. If not, I pull him off the board and bring him in the next turn. Got my deep strikers over here. If you need them on turn 2, you can, or turn 3 once the battle space is kind of spread out. Then you come in and then I'm also starting to get more keen on running fixed secondaries. That way I can tailor myself towards a certain deal, like whether it be cleanse, assassination, or bring it down, depending on how their army is kind of set up. And then you run the actual mission, and you can do so. So anyway, that is what I'm running right now in a 2,000 point list. Now my Crusade army 1,000 point list is a little bit different, but that's what I'm running. And then when we get into Iron Storm, I've got that built out. Like, I'll go into that later. And then Vanguard Spearhead, we're still acquiring units for that, but I almost got that built out. I got the lists out, and I from what I've seen on other channels, how they're running these is kind of odd, and I don't think it's the most advantageous way to run those 2 particular lists. I think some guys have done some really good stuff on like Firestorm, and even the White Scars one, and I haven't seen much on the Imperial Fist one. And of course everybody knows how to run Gladius, and Gladius still is very good. I like it. I was debating on whether just to keep, I don't know, maybe run that every once in a while. But the videos that I've seen from like Titans and all this, I mean, it's fun, but I think that they're missing out on how running the Iron Storm or the Iron Hands list to its optimum. And then the Vanguard Spearhead, definitely. When I look at the Vanguard Spearhead videos that I've seen so far, they're not necessarily the way I think they should be ran to be effective. There is one guy that I've seen that is running a current infantry list that is themed around Raven Guard that is doing very well, and I enjoy his videos because he goes into the tactics of them and running a very thematic list that optimizes lone op, quick strike, and mainly infantry units, but he's using Shrike a lot with assault marines instead of Vanguard vets, which I like. Vanguard vets as the theme or whatever. I'm not going to get assault marines. I like my Vanguard vets. I wish they'd give them lightning claws back or something like that, right? So but his videos are compelling and have actually influenced me on how I'm gonna run the Spearhead, the Vanguard Spearhead list, but and even my Gladius formation. I'm gonna do a little more experimentation as we get further on. But anyway, that's my list. I appreciate if you like and subscribe this, and I will talk to you later. We got some games to play, maybe tonight, Friday. And then the book's out, and then we start getting into some real, experimentation and seeing how this list comes out. And then I didn't even talk about, we're already 15 minutes in. I'll have to talk about that game that I played on last Friday where I had 2,000 point armies against me. So it's a 2,000 point game. Votan Tau against me, with 2,000 points of Raven Guard, Raven Guard, Space Marines, whatever, with Shrike, so it's Raven Guard. But it went, I'll just say it wasn't my optimal game. I could have easily won this, but there's learning moments in this, so we'll probably go through it, and then we'll do another video on that. But anyway, I'll talk to you later. Peace.